The story begins in 1940 in Italy. During the time when Italy enters World War II, we are introduced to a 12-year-old boy named Renato. His father takes him to buy a bicycle, and after getting it, Renato rides it around town. He eventually goes to meet his friends, who are thrilled to see his new bicycle. Suddenly, one of the boys says, "She's coming, sit down." Everyone quickly sits down, but Renato is confused, wondering who they're talking about. Just then, the most beautiful woman in town walks by and her name is Malèna. Renato becomes mesmerized by her beauty. It's as if he's instantly attracted to her and cannot take his eyes off her. Later, he and his friends start following her on their bicycles. Malèna's father lives alone and is a school teacher who is deaf. Renato and his friends attend the same school. Although Malèna is married, her husband is away most of the time due to his service in the army. Malèna's beauty is unmatched, making all the men in the town crave her attention. Even a glance from her drives them crazy. On the other hand, the town's women despise her, jealous of her beauty and wanting to look like her. One day in school, Renato can't concentrate because he keeps thinking about Malèna. After school, he rides his bike to her house, sits across the street, and waits to catch a glimpse of her. When Malèna steps outside, she notices him and calls him over. She gives him money to buy cigarettes. While talking to her, Renato can't stop staring. But soon, he snaps out of his daydream. He was imagining the whole thing. Obsessed with Malèna, Renato even steals his father's pants and goes to the tailor to make them fit him. When his father finds out, he scolds Renato and reminds him that he's too young for full-length pants. Despite knowing she is married, Renato spies on Malèna. At night, he climbs trees to peek into her window. One night, he sees her dancing to music in her room, unaware of his presence. The next day, Renato buys the same music cassette and listens to it at night, imagining Malèna visiting his room. These are all his fantasies. One day, while following Malèna, Renato notices that both rich and poor men, even high-ranking officials, leer at her lustfully. The wives of these men, instead of blaming their husbands, mock and hate Malèna. She never responds or argues. She remains quiet and loyal to her husband. Malèna regularly visits her father's house to care for him since he is old and on medication. Renato continues following her and watches all of this secretly. Soon after, military officers and government officials make a public announcement that several soldiers have died in the war. Malèna's husband is among them. The news spreads like wildfire. The men in the town are delighted, knowing she's now a widow. Meanwhile, Malèna is devastated by her husband's death. She loved him dearly and, now alone, moves in with her father. One day, as she hangs her laundry, Renato steals one of her garments and runs off. That night, he holds the piece of clothing, lost in thoughts of Malèna. When his parents find out, his father yells at him and his mother beats him. They lock him in a room for 3 days without food. His health deteriorates, so they call a doctor. The doctor advises them to let him eat on time and allow him to get fresh air. Renato resumes following Malèna. The town starts spreading rumors that Malèna has affairs with many men. Even some men speak ill of her. But Renato knows these are lies. One day, Malèna's father receives a note during class claiming that his daughter is not a good woman and has relationships with many men. Heartbroken and angry, he refuses to accept her anymore and kicks her out of the house. She then returns to live alone in her home. One night, Renato sees Malèna having an affair with a town officer. Shocked, he watches from a tree. Suddenly, a local dentist, who also has feelings for Malèna, attacks the officer. The dentist's wife arrives with the police and accuses Malèna of having an affair with her husband. A case is filed against her, and the scandal spreads rapidly. Troubled and helpless, Malèna Iris Na goes to a top lawyer in town to fight her case. The lawyer agrees, but only because he has ulterior motives. During the court trial, the lawyer argues that Malèna Iris Na has no relationship with the dentist and that the officer is just a friend. The lawyer wins the case. Later, when Malèna Iris Na pays the lawyer's high fee, he takes advantage of her vulnerability and exploits her. Renato sees everything from a distance and falls from the tree, breaking his arm. Afterward, Malèna Iris Na is seen frequently visiting the lawyer, as she has no other means to survive and he covers her expenses. When the lawyer's mother finds out about the relationship, she scolds him, saying he has tarnished their family's name. Ashamed, the lawyer ends the relationship, leaving Malèna Iris Na alone once again. She becomes completely isolated, with no job, and her husband's pension cut off. She is desperate. One night, Malèna Iris Na cuts her hair short and changes her appearance. She thinks to herself, if people speak ill of me for doing nothing, why not just become what they already believe? The next day, she appears in town looking entirely different. Everyone stares at her in amazement. Instead of seeing her as a grieving widow, they admire her bold look. She sits on an empty bench and lights a cigarette. Several men approach her. One lights her cigarette. Malèna Iris Na realizes that when she tried to live a decent life, society didn't let her. And now, they're ready to accept her when she has no dignity left. So, to survive, she starts doing the very things people accused her of, engaging with men for money. Renato watches all this from a distance, heartbroken. At night, he continues keeping an eye on Malèna Iris Na's house and sees that every night,